I'm Richard Fitzgerald. This is Dubai Works, where we interview the business leaders making a difference in this great city.
What does it take for a brand to grow out of this region in the same way that we see these huge companies be created in the US, and then in a few years' time everyone's purchasing their products and they're listing on the stock market and they seem to have global brand awareness? Hopefully this guest today will share a story of one such company that's growing here. It's been a busy week as usual. It's almost the middle of August. We are looking towards the schools coming back and the weather improving or the temperature decreasing a bit. We've had a little bit of rain, a little bit of wind in Dubai, but there is business as usual. There's startup stories on Smashy Business that you'll see. A company called Talents Arena, an AI recruitment firm, raised $750,000. And also big companies like Lulu Group have announced that they're getting into the cinema space with the launch of 50 cinemas. And of course, Barbie finally launched in UAE yesterday. So it's been a bit of a blockbuster summer for cinema as well. But for now, do enjoy the conversation. Welcome back to another episode of Dubai Works Business Podcast. We're joined by Wajdan Gul. He's the CEO at Squatwolf, a gymwear brand engineered for active life, from its fit to stitching to fabric, with gym goers in mind. So good morning, Wajdan.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming on. And thanks for coming on.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, it was great to have you on. Squatwolf, it came across my attention recently. It's obviously sort of a progressive company that's raised money, that's doing well. Can you tell us the story behind it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So Squatwolf is a premium gymwear brand. We started in 2016. It's a typical startup story. So just before Squatwolf, I used to work for another company. Me and my wife, we recently got married. We moved from Pakistan over here, recently got married, started doing our jobs over here in Dubai. And, we'd come back from office at around 5 or 6 p.m. We enjoyed it for a bit, for 3 months, 6 months. And we were like, what are we doing? What do we do next? Because our families, were just not over here. We were just living over here alone, newly married. We were like, okay, there are two choices. What do we do? Should we have kids, just to make the life more interesting? Or should we do something more interesting? So yeah, that's where, and my wife was always like, this is not who we are, we should be doing more. We're not the people that are made for 9 to 5. And we were like, okay, what do we do? So we were gym freaks. We would go to gym every day. When you start going to the gym, what you see is you start following a lot of people on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, just to learn how to work out, what to eat and what to do. And then when you follow these people, you would notice that they wouldn't wear your usual big brands, and I would not take the names over here, but they would wear their local homegrown brands that are, making gear for their type of workout. So if it's yoga, there's a brand that's for yoga. If it's CrossFit, there's a brand that's for CrossFit. If you're into bodybuilding, weightlifting, there's a brand for that. If you're into swimming, and so on and so forth. But when you go into the malls over here, you would just find generic brands that are sportswear brands that are making gear for every kind of workout, and they don't necessarily take care of those specific nuances that your kind of workout would need, the gear that your kind of workout would need. And we're like, okay, why isn't there something like this over here? And at the same time, what we also realized, there was a huge gap, that there wasn't anything local. All the brands would come in from outside, would sell to the consumer over here without really understanding the consumer over here. So we're like, okay, how do we combine these two gaps, right? Okay, there isn't anything that's there for gym, bodybuilding, weightlifting, weight training, and then at the same time, there isn't anything local. So that's where really the idea of Squatwolf came from. We don't have any background of retail, activewear, fashion, or anything of that sort. I'm a guy who comes from a digital marketing background, who used to market software, cloud solutions and stuff. And then my wife is in HR, and she used to work for MNCs, pharmaceutical companies and stuff. And I was like, okay, we don't know anything about it, so can we really pull it off? But when we really thought about it, we were like, yeah, we can, because we know what we want, right? And we hope that people will also like it, because we really understood that there is this gap in the market. So we just came up with the idea of Squatwolf. All right, we were going to create Squatwolf, and the idea of Squatwolf really came in from, okay, squat is the most effective exercise that you can do in the gym, and then Wolf really likes to operate in community, in a pack, and then there is a leader in the pack, there are followers in the pack, but they all operate in a pack, right? And there was this, pack mentality that was also community mentality that was also missing in sport and gym over here at that time in Dubai. So we're like, okay, let's start Squatwolf, and that's where the idea came in from. We hired some freelancers, from South Africa, Italy, to really design our first collection. We gave them the vision, the ideas, the sketches on the tissue papers, on the papers, and then we're like, okay, this is what we want to create. Can you come up with something? Yeah, they really believed in the vision and something that we were creating for this market. They created first set of collection for us. We're like, how do we now manufacture it, right? Who do we go to? There wasn't anyone over here in the Middle East that could actually manufacture activewear. So we reached out to a few manufacturers in Asia. A lot of them just laughed on us and then just rejected the idea. It was like, how can you invest in this,
Why did they laugh at you?
It's because, they used to working with the big name brands, right? And they would go and like, I want to make 1 million t-shirts. I want to make 1 million shorts. I want to make 1 million, sports bras and leggings. And we went and like, okay, you know what? This is our saving. We can only make 500 of this right now. And they were like, yeah, we don't do this because we won't make anything out of it and we'll waste time. Rather than creating.
So what did you do?
There were few that really believed in the vision. Apparently, I've been told that I'm good at selling the dream, so I sold the dream to them. And I told
what dream did you sell?
The dream was that we are on the path to create the best gym wear brand in the world that originates from this region, from Dubai. You've all worn the brands that originate from Europe, from North America, but now is the time that this region will come in, and you have to believe in this region, because at that time I saw when I was going to the gym how the gyms were opening up in every corner, how fitness was becoming a big thing, how Sheikh Hamdan himself was really promoting the idea of fitness and really get this region out there in get them fit. And I told them about this, that this is what is happening. There's a cultural change that's happening in this region. So you really need to believe in us, and we'll be leading that change. So if you come and partner with us, we'll all be the Nikes and the next Adis of the world, but started from here in this region, from Dubai. Yeah, some of them really believed in the idea, came on board, and was like, okay, we're going to experiment. So of course, at that time, we had to pay a lot more than your usual, brands to create. And we were like, okay, are we going to create just another brand? Just another brand that creates more t-shirts, more shorts, more leggings, more sports bras, or are we going to create something different? So we thought, no, Dubai, it's the market which appreciates luxury, which appreciates premium, which appreciates details, which appreciates attention to details. So we're going to create a premium gymwear brand that's just up there in terms of pricing, but also then it comes with additional features, details, and just attention to detail and the gear as well. Yeah, so they believed in us. It was February at that time when we started, really the idea of the brand. It was May, June that we launched the brand in 2016. And we were really nervous. I still remember the time because we just put in all our savings, all the money that I cashed out from my earlier businesses, and put it into Squatwolf.
Did you quit your jobs?
Yeah, no. So at that time, what we would do is we would come back at 5 or 6, and we would work till 3 a.m. in the night. So we had a 2-bedroom apartment. One of it was a warehouse and an office space. One of them, was just a store where we will just put all the, orders and just pack all the orders ourselves. And then there was a small place in our 2-bedroom apartment where we would sleep. So that's how it was.
Crazy.
So yeah, it was just that. So I think we didn't quit our job for the first year because we were like, that's the money we make. We invest into
fully bootstrapped.
Exactly, fully bootstrapped at that time. So yeah, so we launched it in May of 2016. We were really nervous. It was just first 6 items that we launched with, because that's all the money that we got to create those 6 items.
What were the items?
So it was a tank, that Shahir actually wore as well.
Our producer Shahir, a tank top.
Yeah, a tank top, which had just a bit of a detail in it. So usually you would wear a tank top, which would just be a normal tank top, right? But what we did was we went an extra mile. We added a rubber strip at the back. So what we understood that the weightlifters, they basically, when they squat, when they deadlift, they have to bow down. So when they basically go down, their tank from the back just comes up and this exposes the skin. And we noticed that they would continuously keep adjusting, their back and the front and the shoulder straps. So what we created was just a small detail of a rubber strap at the back. So when they bow down,
weight.
it will stretch.
Oh, stretch.
So
okay.
it will not, actually come up from the back, and you don't have to adjust your, obviously your straps all the time.
Did you have an apparel designer? So you had the creative people who do the mock-ups, you had the manufacturer. Did you have someone who knew how to do products like this?
No, not in the start. It was just me and my wife. So what we had was just these ideas, just these, problems that when we go to the gym, what we actually struggle with, and then just with those problems and with some ideas on the tissue paper, we sent it to our designers, who then really understood. And we were lucky to have these first set of really interesting freelance designers who helped us, create this product. So when we launched it, we were like, how do we go about it? How do we create the differentiation? So we created differentiation. We went out with this simple tagline that we are a brand that's born and designed in Dubai and engineered for gym. We're not for cyclists. We're not for soccer players. We're not for runners. We're not for swimmers. We're for the people who go to the gym and appreciate the attention to detail that goes into the gym wear. And we are born and designed in Dubai. And that's what, where the community really came behind, because we were the first brand that actually came up with this idea that we're born and designed in Dubai. We were really surprised. We sold out of the 6 products we created, 4 of it during the pre-order phase.
What else were the products? So a tank?
Yeah, a tank top, a t-shirt, shorts, a jogger pants, so like, trouser, and then I think a couple of more t-shirts as well.
And did you have a website? You obviously had
Yes.
social media.
Yes.
Did you get a payment gateway? Did you get a licensing? You did the fulfillment yourself?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we did all of that. So what we did was we created the website ourselves. I created the website. So what I was doing is I was managing the marketing and the digital side of the brand, and my wife was managing the entire operational side of the brand. So just getting approvals from the bank, the payment processing, the shipping companies and everything.
And what did you? Where did you have a license in that June 2016?
Yeah, exactly. So we went out to Fujairah Creative City. We got the license because that was the cheapest. license that was available at that time. We were like, okay, we're going to go for that. That didn't require us to obviously leave our jobs as well, because our jobs were essentially financing the business as well. We got the license from Fujairah. Then once we got the license, something that's interesting that we found out, that it's really difficult to open a bank account with that license. Yes, you have an e-commerce license, but at that time, banks really didn't believe in the e-commerce business. They would know the Amazon and the Souk at that time of the world, and they're like, okay, what are you doing? We're going to be selling gym wear online. It's like, who buys gym wear online?
Okay.
I was like, we're not going to support you. But finally, we found out few banks who we had to deposit 150,000 dirhams just to open a bank account. I deposited the money, we opened a bank account. Once we opened the bank account, we went to the payment processor. Now we have a bank account, give us a payment processing license so we can accept credit cards and everything online.
Which payment processor?
So it was PayTabs. PayTabs is, I think it's an Omani and Middle Eastern company. So we went out to put PayTabs and we asked them to, obviously give us a license. At the start, they said no as well. So we actually started with cash on delivery in the first month. But then when we started doing a bit of a volume and really told them this is who we are, this is what we are doing, PayTabs came in and they gave us the payment processing.
So of those 6 products, you ordered about 500 or so. You sold them out quickly.
Yeah.
And were you surprised? Was it organic word of mouth, or were you asking friends to buy stuff?
No. So what we did was, I come from a digital marketing background, so I can sell anything online. You give me a needle to a plane, I can sell it online. That's what my background is. And then my wife was really good with social media, as wives usually are. So she was really good with social media. So what we did was we just combined both of these. And we started doing these Instagram ads in the start. And at the same time, what we really did was I hung out with a lot of personal trainers. Personally, a lot of personal trainers. So I would go to gyms and see who's the best personal trainer in the gym. I'll take these sessions with them and I'd get them the Squatwolf gear. You know what? I've
give
created,
it to them.
Yeah, exactly. I've created this brand and I would really like you to wear it, see if you like it and give me the feedback. So that became a really good organic way to grow the brand as well, because all I needed to do, just go out in the gym, had few sessions with the best personal trainer and give them the gear. And that personal trainer was training 10 other, 15 other, 20 other clients, and he's hanging out in the gym throughout the day. So he's seen in the Squatwolf gear. And it was, what the feedback that I got from the personal trainers, that it's a great icebreaker because they'll see that Wolf logo. And I was like, I haven't seen this logo in the gym.
Tell us about the logo. So the jersey you're wearing now for people, the polo you're wearing now for people who are listening, you've turned over your shoulder.
Yes, exactly. It's here.
It's the other side, yeah.
Oh, it's the other side. There you go.
So, and you told me why that is?
Yeah, exactly. So what we did was just a bit of a logo story. So, we wanted to create a logo. So we thought Squatwolf, we gave it to a logo designer. This is the brand name. Create a logo for us. And, designers, some of the designers, were lazy. And we were unfortunate to work with the lazy ones. And they gave us a logo of a wolf face. Okay, there you go. This is a Squatwolf. No, anybody could have done it. I could have done it. Give me something interesting. And then they tried iterations after iterations. And then we were just so frustrated. It was like, what do we do? But there was one logo that had a wolf face and an eye and a nose, right? And me and my wife were sitting, I think it was 1 a.m. at the night. We were so frustrated. What do we do? What do we do? Then we started playing with the logo ourselves. We took one of the iterations. We started drawing those iterations. And one of the iterations we drew, that we had a logo that the designer designed. We removed the complete outline of the face.
Yeah.
We removed the complete outline of the face. When we removed the complete outline of the face, there was just this eyes and the nose. It was like, that still looks like a wolf, but it looks so sharp that, people would ask, okay, what's this? What's this? I get some idea, but what's this? And when you say it's Squatwolf, I get it. So that's what the idea came in from. And our creative director, what he did was he put the logo over here and was like, okay, everybody creates polo. All the brands in the world have polos. You can buy polo from any brand, from an activewear to the fast fashion brand. Like, what do we do different with our, polo? So he came up with the idea, we're not going to put logo here. We're going to put logo here. It was like, why are we going to put logo here? Apparently, he's a golf fanatic. So what he does was, okay, when you swing, a lot of golfers will like to wear polo. When you swing, your shoulder basically comes over here, and that's where you can see the wolf logo. I was like, that's interesting. So that's the kind of attention to detail we put on our gear. We just do not want to follow the norms and the rules that are being set by the big boys out there. We want to challenge those rules, and we want to come up with something interesting. So that's where.
Amazing. So take us forward a little bit. So at what point did you sort of, what happened next, basically?
Yeah. So after the first launch, it was really successful. Local community really came behind it. And Dubai being Dubai, there are people from 200 nationalities living over here, right? So people from different nationalities started buying. Organically, they started posting online. They started posting what are they wearing. And when you go to the gym, you like to post about it, that you went to the gym, you worked out, you're looking good after that pump. And what we noticed that we started getting orders from all over the world. I was like, I'm not marketing in US, I'm not marketing in Australia, I'm not marketing in the UK and Europe. How am I getting orders from all of these countries? So what we realized that our customers in Dubai were posting, and their friends and family from all around the world were looking at what they were wearing, and they were actually going and discovering the brand and buying online. So 2017, we started actively marketing in Saudi Arabia, Oman, Kuwait, Qatar, and we started growing really tremendously over there.
Focus on the region. And when you say growth, like, what are the milestones in terms of orders?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So 7 years, fast forward 7 years, we have customers wearing Squatwolf in 100 plus countries around the world. We are a 9-figure brand in dirhams, and we're growing exponentially.
9-figure total revenue annually.
Yes, and and we are growing 40 to 50% year on year. The pace is just absolutely mental, and it's just sometimes difficult to keep up with. Like, how do you keep adding people? How do you keep adding the talent? How do you keep finding the talent? How do you keep innovating the product as well? But we've been fortunate to have a great community of people inside the brand and outside the brand who are really giving us constant feedback and helping us grow.
And manufacturing now?
So manufacturing now, it's in different parts of the world. So we obviously have manufacturing in China because it's the best in terms of activewear manufacturing. We're also manufacturing in Europe as well. And we are also manufacturing in Bangladesh, so South Asia as well. So it's spread all over the world. Yeah.
How many people do you have?
So we are now a team of, last I counted, we're a team of 85 plus people now in 4 countries. So we have a head office over here in Dubai. So I come from Pakistan, so we thought like, again, trying to give back to the country something as well. So what we did was we have an office over here as well, over there in Pakistan as well, where around 30 people are sitting over there as well. Then we have...
Where in Pakistan?
Karachi.
And what do they do?
So we have, it's not like a lot of people, what they do is when they create offices, they create a back office. So it's not a back office for us. It's also a regional office for us. So what they do is we have a marketing team. People who don't need to be here to actively do their job are there. So we have a marketing team is there. So digital marketing team is based out of there. The finance team is based out of there. There is a part of the planning team that's based out of there as well. Customer service is based out of Pakistan as well. And there are several other teams that are based out of Pakistan. Then people who need to be in front of the customers all the time. So product designers are based in Dubai as well. Then we have logistics team, operations team, planning team, strategy team, and a brand marketing team is based over here in Dubai. And then we have a team in the UK as well, because it's really difficult to find product talent in the Middle East because nobody creates the product. As I said earlier, everybody imports over here. So how do you find product designers? Product visionaries. So we hire them in Europe, in UK, in US, and then bring them over here to Dubai. So there are a few that are based in the UK as well. So our chief creative officer, he's based out of UK, he's moving to Dubai really soon as well. We have chief innovation officer, he's based out of the UK as well. Sourcing team is based out of the UK. Then we have a team in Hong Kong as well. They are the people who keep in touch with our factories, just making sure everything is going smooth and the products are coming in on time. So,
operations and everything. It's incredible. And so in May or June, you announced a $2 million raise?
Actually, $30 million.
$30 million. Close enough.
Very close.
So $30 million. And was that the first fundraising that you did?
Yeah, we had our friends. So I had my friends, so it's a Disrupt group. They came in 2017 as seed. Investors into the business, and that's who we house our team as well in Pakistan. So they are called Disrupt. They're a huge multi-million-dollar group based out of Pakistan, having a lot of products all around the world. So they supported it in 2017 with the seed round, and since then this is our first round. Actually, we did.
And were you sort of profitable by the time they came in at the seed round? Early, and then so they came in now, and what's the sort of plan, the trajectory? Is that a Series A round that they did?
Yes, so that was a Series A round. So the plan is obviously, as I said, we're growing at a tremendous pace, and sometimes it's just hard to keep up with everything. And we want to do justice to the brand as well. So we found really good partners in Ask Capital, who's a private equity firm based out of DIFC. You talk about private equity, and you sometimes just get scared, like okay, they're going to come in and they're going to ask for everything. But we found people who were really passionate about product rather than the numbers. How do we create products? And the founders, they are like also the founders of the private equity firm are also gym freaks, and they like to go to gym. So that's where they discovered our products as well. And they were like, okay, we really like you guys, what you're doing, and the focus on the product as well. So they came in, and the idea with the new fundraise is to basically make sure that, we strengthen our community, because this brand is all about the community. We strengthen our community. How do we grow the community of personal trainers? How do we grow the community internally and externally? The second biggest focus is product. How do we even take the product to the next level? How do we create the best and the most premium gym wear that people have ever seen? And the third one is, how do we go omni-channel? How do we take this brand into the physical world? So opening up Squatwolf stores is also on the horizon in the next 6 to 12 months.
Incredible. And in Dubai now, at the moment, do you have a warehouse or is it an office?
No, so we have an office as well, and we have a warehouse. So we have basically outsourced everything. So how we like to think ourselves, we are a product and a marketing machine. That's who we are. We are not in the business of managing our own warehouse. We're not in the business of doing the last mile delivery ourselves. So we have partners who basically house all our product and manage all our logistics, where our team focuses on the product and how do we take that product out in the market. So yeah.
And how have you personally found, being a marketing specialist and your husband and wife team to now being a CEO of a company that's generating that amount of revenue and managing 80 people? How have you gone through that journey yourself?
Yeah, a lot of people actually ask me, it must be absolutely fun to create this. And I tell them, no, it's not fun, but it's fulfilling.
Okay.
It's not fun, but it's fulfilling. Fun is really going out on the beach and just looking at the waves, right? Fun is just tanning in the sun, right? That's fun. But I think what it has filled us with a lot of sense of fulfillment and pride. that we have created something. There were two kids who came in from a small town in Pakistan, came to Dubai, created a brand that people from 100 countries fell in love with. And then when you think about it, when you reflect on it, it just fills us with a lot of sense of pride and fulfillment that we have created something that hopefully is going to live for a very long time. So yeah, the journey has been exciting. It's, of course, working with your wife is not the easiest, and I'm sure she's going to say the same as well, because it's what happens is like, it becomes really difficult to separate work and personal life, because you're doing the business together, then you go home and all you do is talk about business again. Then you go on dates and all you do is talk about business again. So it's just because we don't have any social circle outside of the business. So all we end up talking about. So now we have consciously started taking a bit of a break. Let's not talk about work. Let's just talk about something else in life. So we love traveling. We travel a lot. And hang out with each other a lot.
Amazing. And so how would you describe the sort of category that you're in? Do you think that your competitors are, the incumbents, the ones that you saw in the stores, or do you think the competitors are, let's name a couple. So the ones in the stores are the Under Armours, the Nikes of the world, and the more digital born brands, like digital native vertical brands or Instagram type brands, right? Like, there's a famous one in the UK, obviously Gymshark, that I'm sure you've been compared with. Where do you see the competitor landscape at the moment, in Dubai and in the region and globally?
Yeah, no, it's really interesting what has happened since COVID. I literally see another new brand that pops up every week, literally. And, there is a brand that now calls itself, we are born in Abu Dhabi. There is a brand that calls itself, we are born in Kuwait, and so on and so forth. There are a lot of brands that are coming in. And I think how I see competition is good. And why it's good? Because now it was us in 2016 till 2020 that was trying to create this market and challenge the status quo of these big brands out there. Now there are many others. There are more friends that are trying to challenge them and bring the people from these big brands to, the local brands that are specialized in their sport. So I see competition is good and healthy. And then at the same time, we get compared to a lot of brands internationally as well. We are like, okay, you're just another Instagram success story, but that's not how we run the business. What we run the business, I think our success is not because of how we market the brand. Our success is because of how we create the product and how we basically make sure we listen to the community to keep improving that product. And I think that's what a lot of people actually miss, and that's what a lot of brand owners miss, because they think it's just easy. Let's create a product. And now the barrier to entry is so low that those factories where we had the challenge in 2016, those factories are now coming into this region, putting up on the expo and telling people, we're going to make 100 pieces for you. We're going to make 50 pieces for you. Just give us your logo and we're going to create the brand. But I think the trick that those people are missing, like, have you really listened to the community what they need, or are you just creating another T-shirt, right? So the competition is good. I think what's also something that's interesting that's happening, there's this big box retailers, obviously like the likes of Go Sports, Sun and Sand Sports, ACO over here. They've really started identifying that people want something new now. People are bored of wearing the same brands all the time. Like when you want to buy a shirt, how many brands out there are out there? Many, right? You cannot even count them. Like there are so many brands out there. When you think about sportswear, why do you just think about 3 or 4 brands, right? There is a huge gap in the market. And that's what, obviously these big box retailers, and we basically are now in wholesale distribution and again growing tremendously in the wholesale and distribution business. We just stocked our products in Go Sports. They sold out in a month's time. And they were like, how did you do that? You're just a young brand who's just an Instagram brand. That's what they told us as well. How did you do that? How did you become so successful in our retail environment? We're like, because we're creating product, listening to the community, and that's what they want. So I think the next journey for us is to open our own retail store so we can give our community a complete Squatwolf experience rather than just existing in another big box retailer. So that's what I think about competition. It's good. It helps us always stay ahead. It helps us. It gives us something to benchmark us against. And we keep benchmarking ourselves, and we try our best that we are always coming up on the top, always the best.
You say you ship to 100 countries, and there's almost a contradiction in being a global company and being a brand that people want locally. For example, if you ship to somewhere in Europe, say Berlin, right? you're obviously not a Berlin-born brand, but
Yep.
you grew out of here. And I guess what I'm getting at is there seems to be companies like yours across different sectors seem to do better in the region and the country that they are
Yep.
at the moment.
Yep.
Like I tell an anecdote. I was looking for, I was trying to purchase some travel luggage. And there was an American brand that has started sort of similar time than you did. And there, you know, when you purchase a brand like that are just really good at UX UI website, really good at customer service online, have really good experience and really good delivery of packaging, you almost don't need an in-store experience because they're so good at that.
Yep.
I could tell another example, and then I looked for companies like that in the region, and there just aren't any. They're all American, and the shipping's slower, the customer service is slower, and things like that. So, you know, it's amazing to see a brand like Squatwolf that's grown here. But isn't that your advantage? That, you know, there's 350 million people, or whatever the TAM is in Arab
This
countries,
region,
but even wider, obviously. Is that your advantage, that you're creating a brand that works for here, yet you also want to be global?
No, absolutely. I think, so when I say that we have customers wearing brand in 100 plus countries around the world, these are the customers who really like our product, discover us online. You discover the American brand, from here, and you wanted to order from there. This region is the home for us. This region is the focus for us. 75% of the business still comes in from this region. This region, I believe, is the future as well. It's the future Europe, where you will be able to travel freely across borders. You'll be able to go to, Qatar or Saudi Arabia without really getting to the visa, which is already happening. So I think this region is the future, and this is where the focus is. And what we're trying, are 90% of the focus of the entire team of Squatwolf, it goes into how do we just make the experience of the customers in this region just better and offer them the better experience than anyone else can offer them.
And will you stick to gym gear?
Yes, gym is where, obviously the roots of the brand is.
I can't get a running top. What about running shoes?
You can, and that's what we've been talking, and I think it's a huge point of discussion at the leadership level at Squatwolf as well. That gym athlete just doesn't go into the gym and lift weights, He probably does that 3 to 4 times a week. Then he goes out for a run. Then he tries something new. He goes out to a new boutique studio that just opened up and wants to try a new workout as well. So how we consider ourselves, we are a gymwear brand. That's our roots are in the gym, but we also make gear for that athlete that goes to the gym and does a lot of things around the gym as well. Just the active lifestyle. So you'll still see 75% of our product are focused around gym, but we offer that 25% product that basically captures the active life of that gym athlete. So yes, you will find a running top. We'll be selling a running top. We are selling a running tank as well, because that athlete that goes to the gym likes to go out for a run as well. Yeah,
and especially in this weather as well, in this part of the world. But I kind of jumped into product, but I was curious again on the region. Like, for example, I was doing the Abu Dhabi Marathon last year, and someone ran up beside me. It was a gym. I knew him from the gym here in Dubai. It was a PT, and I hadn't seen him in 2 years. And he said he's launching gyms in Pakistan.
Oh, okay.
And what was fascinating was the lack of gyms in Pakistan and the opportunity there. So, going back to that opportunity in that region, you're very well placed for it's like being, Nike when people started running in the US in the 70s. It's almost the same now in Pakistan.
Exactly. Yeah, no, absolutely. So, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, these are huge markets with a lot of potential as well. And I think just me being from Pakistan as well and from this region helped me understand that customer a bit better as well. I think that's a huge opportunity that's already in our, obviously pipeline as well, that how do we, and what's the next market, right, that we need to get into and we need to market. But I think as a co-founder and as the CEO of this business, I also have to think about, is it too early? Am I going to spread myself too thin, too early in a life cycle? Because we're still a really young brand, 7 years into the business, right? And there is still a lot that we can do in this region, in UAE, Saudi, with what's happening in Saudi. It's just absolutely fascinating. Probably there are more gyms opening up in Saudi than anywhere else in the world right now. So Saudi is a huge focus for us, this year and the next year as well. How do we make sure that we become that brand that's leading the pack when the gyms are opening up, when the culture is changing, when people are getting into fitness, we're the first one. We are on top of their mind. So there's a lot of focus on building the community in Saudi right now. Same as Kuwait. Kuwait is, known as the Mecca of bodybuilding in the world as well. All the best bodybuilders basically come in and train for the retreats in Kuwait. So Kuwait is a huge focus as well, and just Qatar is actually flourishing as well after the FIFA World Cup. So that's also a big focus. So I think once we have really captured these markets and become top of the mind brand for the gym athletes, the next focus for us is how do we go wider in this region, which includes Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka, and so on and so forth.
Incredible. And so from a customer journey point of view, how customized is it? Is there a Squatwolf app? Does it remember my orders? What's the sort of experience like that?
Yeah, so you'll be surprised to know a lot of our customer service people actually know customers by name. Yes, we have hundreds of thousands of customers, but we know our loyal customers. I know my customers who have been buying from us since 2016. I often try to sit with them and just understand how do you see the evolution of the brand as well. That's what our team does as well. So we do a lot of, focus groups with our customers as well, just to understand them. We have a website where you can see the entire order history. It basically, obviously tailors the product. Our marketing, we get a lot of data as well. So we're a very innovative company in that sense. We get a lot of data. So when we talk to our customers, when we try to market them the new products, we make sure that we're marketing them what they have actually have the more chances of buying, right? Because we understand what they like. They like dark colors, they like light colors, they like pop colors. And then we have an app as well that the customers can use. We have a pack VIP loyalty program. So if customers have bought to a certain amount, we get them into a loyalty program as well, where they get free shipping, a lot of other perks as well at Squatwolf. And then we have recently launched something called Trainers Club, just to honor the trainers community, the personal trainers community in this region as well, where we work with them to not only just improve the product, but also get the product on them so that they can try and give us the feedback as well. So we try our best to customize our product as much as possible to this region, to an athlete of this region, to the weather of this region, so that, people will actually feel like, okay, this brand is from this region and really understands the athletes of this region.
And in terms of margins, is the apparel world now in a digital world? Are the margins good? Are they similar to the bricks and mortar era? Is running a brand like this that outsources many things, can you make good margin?
Yeah. I think the margin, you can make great margins. And you can make really bad margins as well. It's how you position your brand as well. I think more than margins, what we think about, do customers see the value in the product that we're bringing? And are we educating the customer on the value that this product brings in? And if you are able to educate and convince the customer that this product has a higher value, they are actually willing to pay a bit more. For a premium brand. And when they're paying a bit more, obviously, organically you make better margins. And the margins are actually stronger for us than a lot of big brands out here in the Middle East. And it's purely because we right now do not exist in retail. We started as a direct-to-consumer brand. So we controlled our own margins, we controlled our own brand, we controlled our own pricing. So everything is in our hands. So all we wanted to do is that, do we have enough to keep growing? So we always try and make sure that we have enough to keep growing, to keep basically supporting the exponential growth trajectory that we are on.
That's what I was getting at, because with this investment and the bricks and mortar space and investment, It almost becomes the pricing can be premium, but the ingredients that go into it are different. The ingredients of digital marketing, shipping from China or for wherever, and the last mile outsourcing, that's very different to a retail investment and costs. And how are you going to navigate that and retain the sort of...
So I think when we started, when we started, actually the margins were not that strong because the factories were, making the gear for us at a really high price. We had to basically, get a small space in a huge container for a much more premium, right? We had to fly in a lot of our products because we were just not experienced with how to move the product, through sea. We just didn't have customs logistics expert. So the margins were low. And that's where we struggled actually in the early days as well. But then as you keep growing the business and you keep, working with partners who support your growth and you really understand, okay, now this brand has economies of scale. So we are a healthy 9-figure brand now. So we have economies of scale in certain areas, and in certain areas we're still getting there, right? So we have an amazing sourcing team that's based out of China, led by Kate Paget, and she basically, she's in Hong Kong and she has really good relationships with factories. So we always make sure our factory partners are aware where we are going in the next 5 years. So they're supporting our growth. So our margin on the product level is now really good. But then, obviously during COVID, we struggled. Everybody struggled with moving the products from Asia to their hubs, So we struggled there, but we covered it up because we knew that it was just for a time being. And now we are back because the freight costs have already gone down again. And, so we are able to get spaces in the ships and airplanes and so on and so forth. So the margins are now back to where they were, pre-COVID on the logistics as well. Marketing has become a bit more expensive, since after COVID because of multiple factors, because of, the privacy updates that have come in on the iOS, and then also at the same time, competition that has come in as well. So there are a lot more brands that are trying to go after the same customer. There are a lot of brick and mortar brands who want to do DTC right now. Like Nike just came in with a $2 billion budget to go DTC. So we are competing with the likes of those. So that's where we're struggling. So, but what we know that this is the new reality. So let's optimize the margin in other areas as well. So yeah, I think the focus now is to how to keep growing the brand sustainably. There are I feel like a DJ, just a deck over here. There are certain things that you need to, obviously increase. There are certain things you need to decrease just to make sure that the business is operating at a sustainable level and is able to sustainably grow year on year.
And sustainable 50-60% growth isn't sustainable. No company in the history of the world has continued that forever, right? Obviously, but so what do you mean by sustainable?
Yeah, I think so. You always need to, like you said, no company ever in the history of this world has been able to grow 40 to 50% year on year. For the first 4.5 years, we were growing 120% year on year. So now we are growing 50 to 60% year on year. And sometimes I think okay, can we still grow 100% year on year? But as the base is increasing, it just becomes increasingly difficult. As we have occupied a lot of the market share already, it just becomes increasingly difficult. So what I mean by sustainable growth is, do we have enough to keep bringing in the talent? Keep attracting the talent, keep retaining the talent, to create a culture that's in the organization that people really understand the vision of the brand and are really really willing to support the founders in supporting that vision for the brand. And you'd be surprised if you just focus on that, the culture and getting people, behind the vision of the brand, that people can deliver 30 to 40% growth year on year, back to back. So what we are now looking at, I think, from the business planning and the forecasting that we have done, we can easily grow another 40 to 50% year on year for the next 5 years. Easily. Because we're still not in retail. We're just an e-commerce brand. Incredible. How Saudi is growing, it's just absolutely tremendous. Like Saudi has now become, we started as a UAE brand. Saudi is our number one market now. That's where we sell the most. And people think, e-commerce is still not there. People are like...
Have you set up a license there?
No, so we're just moving everything from UAE. We move everything from UAE to Saudi Arabia, and we don't have a license over there. That's in the future as well when we start opening up retail stores over there. So think of it like this. We're already 9-figure brand without a single retail store. Without a single retail store. And there is a huge opportunity. People in this region like to go to the mall. We have the best malls in the world. We have the best retail experiences in the world. So we have plans to open at least 20 stores in the next 3 years in the region as well.
But they do. But purchasing online is also increasing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We're already there.
Yeah,
that's
leading, your core.
Yeah, exactly. We're leading the pack there. We've been there since 2016 when nobody really believed in e-com. We understand how people shop over here online, and now I think our next phase, the next step in the journey of Squatwolf is retail and wholesale.
And what would be the next plans for digital? What do you see of AI? What do you see of? Is it about aggregators? Is it about marketplaces online? Is it building out your own digital experience in purchasing?
Yeah, so we have categorically said that we are not a marketplace brand. We'll never go on to the likes of Amazons and Noons of the world, because that's not where we like to pair. That's not where we can control the experience. So the future for online for us is hyper-personalization, right? What we are focusing on that, Rich came onto Squatwolf.com, just curate the entire experience for him on the website. So he feels like he's come onto a store that's just customized for him. that basically addresses all his needs, what he shopped before and what he would like now. Just based on AI and what's happening in the world as well, it's just absolutely revolutionary. AI would be able to understand us more than ourselves. Just give us two more years. So what we're working on is just the hyper personalization, how we can offer customers when they come on the website, rather than the generic online experience, a customized experience for that person.
Amazing. And talk a little bit about the investment. So when I hear the term as private equity, I'm not familiar with it sounds like a brilliant partner that you've found, but generally there is a next step with their planning in mind. That might be an exit, or that might be profits or something like that. Do you have a view on that? Do you have a plan? Do you want to list the company in the region? Do you want to continue to grow? Would you like to run this, be fulfilled rather than have fun for a long time?
No, absolutely. This is a big question. This is almost like a question: what do we want to do with our life in the next 5 to 10 years? Of course, like any private equity or like any investor, they always it's naive to think that they'll always be there with you. They have a 5 to 7 year mindset. Always they come in and they basically want to get out of the business in the best way possible. But we're lucky to find partners who believe in the vision of the brand, and they think this brand can be the next Nike, the next Adi of the world from this region. So I think there are multiple paths that are open, and we've discussed multiple things. And what we need to do is just be ready, so that when that opportunity comes in, we are ready to take that opportunity. So the focus right now is on governance, and is to make an organization, when you look at it from the inside or from the outside, looks like it's been run by people who really understand that what they're doing.
Sounds like you do. Thanks so much for sharing your story today, and we'll follow Squatwolf in the future.
Thank you very much for inviting me as well. It was great to talk to you.
You too.
Thank you.
I love that story. I think we'll be hearing a lot more about Squatwolf in the future. The region's very own Gymshark, right under our nose and growing rapidly. So well done to Wajdan, his wife and team as well. And thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll have similar stories like this as always. Thank you to Shahir and Ali, who produced the show, and to the team on Smashy Business. And Love in Dubai, who put it together and distributed across articles, newsletters, podcasts, audio, streaming, everywhere, social video as well. We'll be back next week at 11 o'clock on Friday. It will be pre-recorded. I'll be in Ireland doing an Ironman event, but we will continue the cadence of the episodes as we go. It will be the new season of the UAE local sports as well, so they'll be all streamed. Football, volleyball, handball, futsal, volleyball, handball and basketball will be on Smashy TV Sports. You'll be able to check that out. So do get an early bird offer there to watch that for the season ahead. And yeah, as always, this is a Smashy Business production as part of the Augustus Media Podcast Network.